Well, thank you everybody for being here today, and I just wanted to start off by saying that being a St. Paul police officer can be very rewarding, and at times it can be very exciting, and at other times it can be downright dangerous and deadly. On the evening of October 23rd, I received a phone call at home, and just to put it in context, when I get phone calls at home, off hours, late into the evening or early morning hours, 99.9% of the time, it's not good news. In fact, I have trouble going to sleep at night because I've received too many of these calls throughout my career in the different assignments that I've had. And usually, it has something to do with an officer or officers being injured on the job. That fear came true on October 23rd, when I received a call that we had officers involved with a critical incident. An officer had been shot, and an officer was on his way to the hospital. That's all the information I had at first, until I could get further information. It was a bad night. I was very concerned. It brings back other memories of other incidents. So I rushed to the hospital and was able to talk with Officer King. Both Officer King and Officer Wanschura were involved in an extraordinary situation. An incident where an individual, for a better lack of the term, tried to ambush him. And we may never know the reason why, but I want to thank Dan and Brian. I've talked to both of them on numerous occasions since this incident, because truly they are heroes. They go into a situation where they have little information, and they come across an individual that wants to do harm to them right across the street from our St. Paul Eastern District team house, a place that you'd think would be fairly safe, a place that maybe we might let our guard down for a second because we're home, and people usually don't come to our home to do us harm, but in this case they did. So I want to thank Brian and Dan again for what they did, because we have no idea what that individual may have done if they had not encountered him. This individual tried to take both their lives. We may not ever again know the reason why, but they're heroes in my books. I can tell you that their training kicked in, and they worked as partners to overcome a deadly force encounter. And that's difficult to describe to the public, so I want the citizens of St. Paul to realize that every single day St. Paul police officers go into extraordinary situations. The majority of time, nothing really bad happens. But sometimes we just don't know what's going to happen when we arrive on a call or we're just patrolling in a general area. That's what happened on October 23rd. So thanks to Brian and Dan. Thank you to their families. This was an extraordinary situation. They're two exemplary police officers. They make me extremely proud. I hope they make all the citizens of St. Paul proud, because they're willing to go in the harm's way and do those things that most people just don't realize and understand. And I want to thank them again and turn the podium, or actually let you ask them questions. So thank you again, gentlemen.
I'll just begin by thanking the Federation for setting this up and letting us tell our story, and Dave Titus for all of his work for us and representing and helping us. It's not a complicated story. Basically, we heard a call that a guy had stolen a shotgun from his brother and had left the house. It wasn't a call we were on. We were just sitting, taking a break, just kind of been going call to call, so we took a quick break. We just happened to be in a spot where we saw this individual walk in front of us, some feet down an alley where we were kind of out of sight. He didn't see us. And we saw what appeared to be a pipe or a weapon on his back, because it clicked right away that this could easily be the guy. He moved out of sight. We pulled out onto the street, started to move up on him. He took off running. He took a left southbound behind the school into a grassy area with some trees. I saw him begin to remove the shotgun. I fired one round at him. I missed. As we pulled into the parking lot, we began taking rounds. The first one went through my forearm, passed in front of Brian's chest, and out the open door. He was opening his door and prepared to get out to chase, because normally it's a chase, not a gunfight. The second round went through part of the squad car and into my back, my vest, my back left side of my vest. And the third round that he fired struck the rear of the squad. after the first round and I was hit. I don't think Brian knew that, and he'll answer that shortly, but he dove out of the car. You've probably seen the video from the school. I don't appear on the video, but I go over the computer, out the same door, and I realize how badly I'm hit. The arm's shattered, I'm pouring blood. Brian's engaged in a gunfight. I begin to start with the tourniquet. Another officer, Dave Randall, assisted me because I realized that I basically realized I thought the arm was gone. So I wrote the arm off and like, I just got to stop the bleeding. I got to live through this. So obviously then dozens of cops, medics, everything move in. Brian engaging the guy allowed me to treat myself and then be treated and basically saved my life. So I owe him everything. So it's a dangerous job, but if this is the price and nobody else is hurt, I'd do it again. So I don't know.
Not much to add other than that. That pretty much sums it up. Like I said, it happened so quickly, and you know, you always train and mentally prepare yourself for, you know, if a day like this ever comes, and you just hope that you can react and you know, step up to the plate if it does come. And I'd like to thank, you know, all our training staff here at St. Paul. It's fantastic for just drilling home the mindset of, you know, we win, and you know, even if we get down in the fight, you know, you're never out of it. You got to hang in there, and I'm just glad they teach the warrior mindset here.
Officer King, how are you doing with your injuries?
It's just slow recovery now. I'm wearing the uniform today because I wanted to, you know, just wear it to be proud, but I'm not back on light duty or anything yet. I just have paralysis in these two fingers and the thumb, and a lack of movement, and it's just ongoing physical therapy. It's going to be many months, but I'll just keep grinding at it and hopefully come back. My mind says I'm coming back, but my body may have other things to say, but I'm going to keep trying everything I can. So I think I'll make it.
What was going through your head when you saw this gunman?
Well, I never actually, when he disappeared after I fired, I never saw him again, and I'd actually passed him with the squad car when the rounds began coming in from the left rear side. He then moved in to advance to continue to shoot me again, and that's when Brian engaged him. I never saw him actually firing at me. But I did, when I saw him taking the shotgun off, I thought, okay, he's going to do something, and if I can't let him get into the tree line or disappear where he could pop up anywhere and shoot anybody else, law enforcement or civilian, we had to go get him one way or the other, and I don't think it could have played out any other way.
How many weapons did he have, you know?
The initial call said he stole the shotgun and a compound bow, which we never located. So he was stealing his brother's hunting equipment. We later found out he had several knives and the shotgun.
It was a semi-automatic shotgun, and he had several like throwing stars and a hunting knife on him as well.
You have a prop there. Is that what you were?
Yep, this is what I was shot with. I just carry it to remind me what went through my arm and into my vest and what almost got Brian. And it's a particular shotgun round designed for deer hunting and maximum penetration for bone destruction and tissue destruction. So it's the model of the, not the exact round, of course, but the model of the round that hit me. And I just carry it as a reminder to remind me that I'm lucky to be here.
What gauge is that?
12 gauge.
Officer, where do you keep it? Do you carry it in your pocket?
Yeah, I just carry it in my pocket in my civilian clothes.
Officers, it's rare for officers to have been through such an experience to be willing to share. Why are officers so reluctant to talk about times when they face situations where kill or be killed?
I guess because it is an emotional issue. The fact that I was almost killed, and I guess I don't find it that difficult because we want people to, we talked about this, we want people to know what happens out there and what can happen. There's a lot of negative press all over the country of various officers doing whatever, but when something like this happens, we want to talk about it, actually. We do not like, and we agree, we do not like and never will like the term hero, but we just did what we were trained to do and had to do. He's an Iraqi war veteran. You know, he's been through a lot. I was in the Army, but I didn't see a tour like he did, so I don't mind talking about it actually at all, but we don't want to be glorified. We just want to be recognized, and there's a difference.
Did you realize how hurt your partner was?
Not initially, no. I could hear him screaming as I was firing, but I didn't know he'd been wounded as bad as he had been. I didn't realize it was that serious until I had checked on the suspect and then returned to the squad car and started trying to figure out how bad he was hurt.
When I went out the door, my foot tripped the siren, and it was going, you'll hear it in the audio of the squad video, and I'm yelling for Brian over the siren because I don't know if he's being shot, delivering rounds, a combination of, I don't know if this guy has an accomplice, so I'm screaming for Brian, not only because I'm hurt and I need his help, but I just want to hear him and make sure he's still with us, so it was just chaos.
When you dove out of the car, were you injured? You took quite a roll there.
Yeah, I landed on my elbow pretty bad, but I figure it's best not to complain about that, seeing Dan's arm. So, yeah, it didn't feel good, but luckily I was able to recover quickly.
Can you describe what your mindset was, why you went out of the car and when you were looking for what you were doing?
I was initially, as we were pursuing the suspect, I had opened my door already in anticipation of getting out and chasing the suspect on foot. So we kind of talked about stopping the car at some point and letting me out, and I think Dan got shot before that was able to happen, and I just assumed that the car was going to slow down and kind of had already committed to stepping out, and that's kind of why I fell out. At that point, I rolled over and I happened to see the suspect advancing on us, and I was able to deliver effective rounds downrange.
Officer King, why did you go out of the car after?
Well, I was taking fire from the left side, and I knew if I stopped and got out, now I'm a stationary target. I couldn't open the door with his hand anyway because it was shattered and broken. So I knew I had to go away from the gunfire, so I just basically bailed out. It was time to get out of that car because it's a bullet magnet, and he's firing at the car, obviously at me, but we're trained too. Sometimes it may be best to get away from the car because of the mindset of some people is to fire at the car. So
Provides a pretty large target.
A lot of times we'll take cover behind an engine block or something, but in this case it was happening so fast and I'm already injured badly and it was time to just bail, and that's why I had to go out the other side.
How long have you two been police partners?
That's 3 years now.
And can you describe what you have on your, is that a brace or what you were in?
Yeah, it's just a splint. It's just Velcroed on. It's for just support. It's just kind of it helps because if I bump into stuff and everything, there's still a lot of healing going on with all the metal in my arm and stuff. It's just kind of a support that I use, so I could take it off.
What is the metal in your arm? Do you have?
Oh, I have X-ray here. I just thought people might want to see. It's before and after. The shattered bone. You'll have to look at it later, I guess. But yeah, it's there's two metal rods and they're stainless steel that they screwed into the bones to reconstruct the shattered bones in my arm.
Do you want to show your arm injury now, Dan? Or?
Yeah.
How many surgeries do you have?
I had 4 in the hospital, including the final one, which was a skin graft, and I'll have another one to adjust this metal or remove it at some point. That's the entrance wound. It came through the arm. I think I was reaching for the spotlight, and the window was open. And this is the exit wound, the skin graft covering that they took from my leg. So it's quite a devastating round to have all that tissue blasted away, but
Doctors did a fantastic job.
yeah, amazing. Regions Hospital, Level 1 Trauma Center, they know what they're doing. I'm a former paramedic, and I know something about medicine a little, and the guys saved me. They're just unbelievable people.
Officer, it seems to me that one of the difficult things would be to go back after this has happened. How hard was it to go back on the street for you, officer? And what do you anticipate when you go back?
It wasn't easy for me to go back, to be honest with you, just because of the way our partnership ended. I don't know if he's ever going to come back, and it was just kind of a traumatic way to end it. But once you get back into the routine of things and just you get back into a groove, and when you come that close to dying, it just makes you really sit down and look at things. But this is all I've ever wanted to do, was be a cop, and I can't imagine doing anything else.
I want to come back. I really want to come back just to prove to myself, above all, that I can come back from something like this, but I really enjoy the work and I want to come back. What the doctors and the laws of physics say, we'll find out, but I enjoy the work, and again, small price to pay to stop, potential serious injury or death to others, so it's a no-brainer for me.
Officer King, is there anything that you can share that you're comfortable sharing about your family and them finding out, or?
That's rough. They get these calls in the middle of the night. This happened about 11:37 p.m., so my wife's been very, very supportive of me my whole career, and then we've talked about getting that call, or at least the knock on the door, and thankfully it was one of my best friends that was able to go down and tell her, hey, he's hurt, but we're going to go up and check on him. We don't have an exact status, so I can't imagine how rough it would be if someone were banging on the door telling me my wife was seriously injured. My mother was notified by some other officers too, and so I'm sure it was really, well, she said she dreads the day I go back, but she knows that it's something I really love. So, and my wife supports me no matter what, so I've got a good support system, and I think I'm pretty fortunate. I think Brian would say the same.
Wife's been great. We've known each other for a long time. We were married when I was deployed, so I mean, she gets the line of work I'm in, and she's not naive about it, but she knows that God has the number of my days, and my family's been great, friends have been great, and they said if I get in another critical incident, I might have to become a barber or something.
I wanted to just ask about your military background.
I was in the National Guard for 8 years, and I was deployed to Baghdad from 2004 to 2005.
Yes, I was in the Army from reserve from 1986 to 92. I was a combat engineer and then a drill instructor later.